Hey guys, so I'm going to show you how to add 3/10 plus 2/5. And fifths and tenths are not common denominators, so our first step is to find common denominators. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite these. 3/10 plus 2/5. Okay, so I know that 10 is a multiple of 5, so that means I can take 5 times 2 and get to 10. So that's how I'm going to change 2/5 to tenths, and you can see that 2/10 equals 1/5. So I'm going to multiply on the top and the bottom. Now I have 3/10 plus 2 times 2 is 4, and 5 times 2 is 10, plus 4/10 equals 7/10. 7/10 is in simplest form because 7 is a prime number. So 7/10 is our answer. Hey y'all, so I'm going to show you a way to subtract two fractions with uncommon denominators, so 1/2 and 1/3. 1/2 minus 1/3. So what we need to do is find a common denominator between thirds and halves. Okay, and I'm going to use the strategy of listing out multiples of 2 and 3. So I can list out multiples by doing a table like this, 2 and 3, and skip counting 2, 4, 6, 8, 3, 6, 9, and I can see that 6 is the least common multiple, or LCM, okay, or LCD, least common denominator. So I know that 2 times 3 is 6, so I'm going to multiply by 3 on the top and 3 on the bottom, and 3 times 2 is 6, so 2 on the top and 2 on the bottom. So this is equal to 3/6 minus 2/6. And this checks out with my fraction tiles because 1/2 equals 3/6 and 1/3 equals 2/6. So that makes sense here. So now we can take 3/6 and subtract 2/6. 3 minus 2 is 1, and the denominator stays the same. So we get 1/6. And we know this is in simplest form because it is a unit fraction. And that's another way you can find common denominators. Okay guys, so here's a pretty cool way to add two fractions that have different denominators together. Real quick and simple way to find a common denominator. So we're going to add 1/3 plus 2/4. 1/3 plus 2/4. Okay, so we can take these two denominators, 3 and 4, and multiply them together to get 12. So 3 times 4 is 12. So 12 is our common denominator. And we know we can multiply 1/3 times 4 to get to 12ths. And that makes sense because 4/12 equals 1/3. Okay, so we get 4/12 plus 2/4 times 1, 2, 3 will get us to 12ths, which would actually be 6/12. You can see that 3/12 equals 1/4. So now we can add on these 3 more 12ths and get 6/12. So 4/12 plus 6/12. 4 plus 6 gives me 10. Denominator stays the same. 10/12 is not in simplest form, so we take 10/12 and we can divide it by 2 because they're both even numbers, which gives us 5/12. 6. And 5/6 is in simplest form because it's 1 away from itself.